Welcome back to CVM News at Noon. It's now time for our discussion segment. We have a quite interesting topic coming out of the weekend because only 12 people have so far been prosecuted for breaching the Wildlife Protection Act over the past 4 years. And that is despite a plethora of videos showing what appeared to be an onslaught of violent acts against some animals. Now, the latest event occurred at Salt River in Clarendon, where at the weekend, this very weekend, patrons came face to face with a natural inhabitant of the tributary, crocodiles. Now, subsequent footage shows men capturing the creature, muzzling it, securing it with rope, and then dragging it across the shore. Joining us now to discuss the event or that incident is biologist and chairperson for the Endangered Species Working Group of the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, Damian White, and executive director at the Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, Dr. Teresa Rodriguez Moody. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Greetings. Yeah, just remember that I'm just it's a working group, the Endangered Committee.
Oh,
so no problem.
Okay. Well, thanks for the correction. Well, we'll begin with Mrs. Moody. What firstly did you make of that incident that we've seen on that video clip just now, Mrs. Moody?
Very disturbing. I was looking at the comments as well, and I was pleased to see some of the comments that came across that said, we are actually the ones disturbing them. I saw a comment that said, imagine you're in your own house and somebody comes in and is taking your own house because you shouldn't be there. I mean, it was really disturbing. And the fact is, we're going to see more and more of these things as we begin to encroach on these important ecosystems, and we need to be understanding. We need to be more aware that we need to leave them alone. They play a very important role in the environment, in the ecosystem, and we are the ones that are encroaching on their habitats.
Indeed. Now, Mr. Martin, are sightings in that particular region uncommon?
All right, so the first thing, as you can see, the guys there catching the crocodile in the river. No, it's an overall wetland where you have the Salt River. And if you go further down, wetland normally have crocodiles.
Yes.
So when you expand and put recreational areas in it, you will have crocodiles that live there. But on the other hand, then you have to come up with the ways of managing the crocodiles in their habitat and also managing a recreational area.
Well, earlier, Dr. Moody mentioned the importance and the usefulness in nature of the crocodiles. Some Jamaicans might say, what kind of importance other than to perhaps eat some animals or some humans? So pray tell, what are some of the important contributions that crocodiles make to society's natural habitat, so to speak?
Okay, so just think of it here. So imagine you're in a classroom, one person coming in with a common cold, and if that person stay around, that common cold is passed on to everybody. Now, when we go into the ecosystem and you think about the river, the crocodile is the main predator. It's on top of the food chain, and it plays a role in regulating the animals in that ecosystem. Some of the stuff that we eat, like the fish, so it keeps everything intact, and it plays a very vital role in that wetland. So, for example, when you see those guys coming out with a crocodile, not to say that I was on site and the team members were there, we did catch that crocodile, like put the noose on it on the other side. But everything comes out of control, you know, when you're trying to control crowds.
Yes.
A lot of people, based on watching TV, feel that they now become crocodile experts and might jump on the animal there, which is very dangerous. That's why you have the... Pardon, go on.
Yes, so as I'm looking at the clip just now on screen, we saw where an individual was attempting to straddle the crocodile and to almost close his mouth or its mouth. Is that safe? Is that recommendable?
Well, the thing is, so let's first put it. So when we were on site, this was a site that we were trying to control. A number of people there. So what you normally do when you see something like this, you call the National Environmental Planning Agency. But in that area, you have an NGO, which is CVM, and those are the guys that are in the light blue. I
Okay.
am a passing by biologist that was enjoying my birthday on the day, and we went down there to help. So when you saw the drawing that crocodile out
Sorry
there,
to hear that. You had
yeah,
to pause that.
we already put a noose on it. However, we were trying to control the crowd, and as soon as we catch it, everybody came in. And in instances like this, crowd control is important because the animal is being subdued, it is scared. Some of the activities that we do in there, like we ask people not to scale fish in the water, because by putting the blood on the fish gut, you encourage the predator to come in that area. So when you hear different groups come out and say, don't put blood or that in the water, you see the implication. And just
Yes.
let everybody know, they live in that wetland. That's their home.
All right.
Whether we
Well,
like it or not, they
we're
live
up
there.
on a quick break. We'll be right back. Hold that thought, Mr. White. Welcome back to CVM News at Noon. We're in the middle of a very unique discussion. It's all about wildlife protection and an incident at the weekend. Joining us to discuss this matter, we have JET's Dr. Teresa Rodriguez Moody. I'm stumbling over my words right there, but Dr. Moody is here on Zoom, as well as Mr. Damian White. He's a crocodile specialist of sorts.
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Well, now returning, I must swing a little over to Dr. Moody. Dr. Moody, one, I want to know if there was enough signage in the area pertaining to crocodile sightings at that specific space where the incident occurred. And then we're going to talk about how climate change and its rising temperatures could have, or if there is any connection with why people are seeing the animals acting any differently over time.
Well, I'm not the crocodile expert, but as far as I know, and I've been down in that area, there's a lot of signage. Damian, you could probably tell if more is needed, but I think the area is well known as a crocodile habitat. It is a known risk that if you're in the river, that it is a possible sighting, even more than just a sighting, if you're not operating in the way you should. It is quite possible. We've been fortunate that we haven't had as many incidents as could have, because of the kind of activities that we are doing, and more you're seeing a lot of these activities encroaching on wetlands. You know, wetlands are an important, well, I'm going to say that they tend to be liked by hotel developments because of the fact that they're right by the coast, and what tends to happen is that you just bulldoze everything, fill it in with marl, and you create a new beach area, hotel area with a beach.
From the wetlands?
So where do the crocodiles go? Where do the other organisms that used to live there go? They have to go somewhere.
Does this, for example, highlight, therefore, then the broader concern around wildlife management locally?
Yes, it does. I see Damien shaking his head. The fact is, we have this very, we approach the environment in such a way that we can fix it after we've damaged it. It is here for us to use it however we choose. And that's really not how we're supposed to approach the environment. The environment provides us with important ecosystem services, a healthy environment. It provides us with clean air, clean water, and so forth, all of which are necessary for not only for us to live, but for a healthy economy. And so how we approach the environment and everything that lives in the environment, the ecosystems, the crocodiles, the lizards, the snakes, is all very important, that we can't just think about, oh, we're just going to move them, we're just going to relocate them. Because all of these things have implications. I'm going to let Damian speak on the specifics as well for crocodiles, because I know he's an expert in this area.
Because, Mr. White, I want to know, if you live in a swampy area in a section of Clarendon, for example, and you are going home one evening with your toddler and you encounter a crocodile on your doorsteps, what do? You just run back?
The first thing, if you encounter a crocodile on your doorstep, I would tell you to walk back and call the experts. Call the police, call NEPA. I mean, if you look at Florida, Florida have much more alligators than crocodile, and they are protected by law. And two, we have to, when you encounter these animals, you have to do a number of stuff. And
Well,
the same
let's
thing
talk
can
public education then, since you're mentioning a number of stuff. Let's talk public
Right.
education. Is more needed? Is the government doing enough on that front?
Well, the public education that we're doing, and one of the questions that you asked a while ago, why is there not enough signage at that place? And the question is, not many of the operators there would want that signage put up there because it would deter some of the people who come there. And I see that as a problem. We have to get used to it because it doesn't make sense. We have to accept the reality that when you go into these wetlands, the crocodiles might be there. The
Exactly.
and the next thing that you mentioned about public education, it's important. And one of the problems that I have in the environmental fraternity sometimes that we underestimate what public outreach is. I mean, for example, we are scientists here. We have gone to university for years to learn about it. And then you have people who do that public relation who have learned how to do it. So we have to, it's not about the days you used to give out pamphlets. You have to find ways of reaching out to the people now who are using TikTok, some watching TV, some print media. The information needs to go out of what the purpose of the crocodiles are. They are not just ugly beasts that will come and eat you or just evil. Yes, it's a dangerous animal, but if it was that dangerous, then we'd have a lot more people going. Because, for example, yesterday, you had some untrained people just jumped in the water. And if the animal did hurt somebody, the first thing you'd hear that we environmentalists here only love the crocodile, don't love people. We love both. We want people to enjoy themselves, and we also want part of our natural heritage, which is the crocodile, to live on. They were here before us, and every day you're going into the mangrove, and they just don't really have much fun to do. And the last thing is, when you do some of your habits in dumping, like throwing dead animals in the drain, cleaning the guts in there, it's a predator that is having a hard time finding food, and you can get free food. What would you do? I would go and get some of the fish guts, and I'll go and get some of the fish skin, the chicken skins that you throw in the water.
Well,
so
Mr. White, that's all the time we have. We're going to have to pick up the conversation after midday news. But for now, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much, Dr. Moody, Mr. White. So that was Damian White from the Endangered Species Working Group at NEPA and Executive Director at the Jamaica Environment Trust, JET, Dr. Teresa Rodriguez Moody. Thank you so much.